Hey there Tennos, here's an actual Ivara build that focuses quite heavily on her using her Artemis bow, and it's not going to cost you any Forma, you don't need any archons, but it does indeed absolutely nuke rooms. Now this build does also use the mecha mod set, but before the mecha mod set can actually kick in, Ivara can quite easily obliterate a room of enemies that are a level 150 level cap, and here's how you're going to do it. So first of all, yes, I do have an archon shard over here, it is maximum energy, but the only reason that is there is because I have two separate builds for her. One is focused quite heavily upon slow paced spy missions. This build, however, is going to focus on all of Ivara's abilities, using her unique mods, as well as combining it with the mecha mod set, because overkill isn't overkill unless you overkill it with more overkill. So let's get into Ivara. Ivara is a stealth warframe. She comes with an exalted weapon called Artemis Bow. She has certain arrows that can create crosswires, small patches of areas that can stealth and shield your friends, and much more. So let's talk a little bit more about her exact abilities. Ivara's passive ability is that she can sense nearby enemies within 50-meter radius. So get rid of that loot mod, you don't need that on Ivara. Her first ability is called Quiver. You can basically cycle through several different arrows. One is focused on cloaking, another is called the dash wire or zip line, which you will want to use for this particular build. The other one is called Noise Emits, where it sends out a high sonic sound to alert enemies and distract them, while her fourth one within the quiver is called Sleep, which is actually pretty good if you are doing animal capture, tag and release kind of missions. Her second ability is called Navigator. Basically, you assume control of any projectile launched by Ivara and guide it to the target. It can be very handy, especially if you are using the Artemis bow. Ivara's third ability is called Prowl, where she does become invisible and she can steal loot from unsuspected enemies or take out prey with deadly headshots. This is also going to be key within the build as well. Her fourth ability is called Artemis Bow, which is her exalted weapon. She can summon her bow and unleash a volley of devastating arrows. Now all of these abilities are going to be key to this build. So there's no Helmuth, no Forma, and you don't really need to focus upon archon shards, but what you will need to focus on is making sure you have these mods. So let's get into the actual mod build. Your aura mod will want to be the mecha empowered to go in with the mecha mod set. You're going to have cunning drift there for ability range. You're also going to have precision intensified there to help out with Ivara's fourth ability being Artemis Bow to enhance the critical chance and damage being dealt by that. Mecha pulses there again with the mecha mod set. Augur Secrets is here for ability strength. Primed Flow for max energy. Blind Rage again for ability strength. Amar's Hatred is here for a little bit of armor, but mostly for the ability strength and the chance that you can teleport to a target if you want to. Then you're going to have the unique mods for Ivara. One is called Empower Quiver. This allows you to use dash wire and give your allies 100% critical damage. Cloaked Arrows has a 100% chance to prevent status effect as well. Concentrated Arrow is what is used for Artemis Bow, being the fourth ability. Fire a single arrow with 25 base critical chance. On full charge, additional 50% chance and explodes in a 7-meter radius on weak points, meaning your headshots are going to be really good. As for arcanes, you definitely want to have Arcane Crepuscular because it's going to enhance your ability strength while being invisible, and Molt Augmented because it's also going to help out with ability strength and it does stack up over time. Now let's take a look at Artemis Bow, her exalted weapon. Now keep in mind there is no Forma on this bow, hence why there is a single slot that is empty. So it is a preferred idea to actually have Forma on the bow, but for the sake of making a build that doesn't focus heavily on Forma, let's go over the actual mods. Serration is there for the damage, Critical Delay is there to enhance the critical chance, Split Chamber is to help out with that multi-shot that you're going to be using with Artemis Bow, Malignant Force is there to help out dealing toxin as well as status chance, Primed Cryo Rounds is to deal out some cold status, Vile Acceleration is there to enhance the fire rate for your bow, and Hellfire for heat damage. That way you're creating some status chances from Slash, Cold, Puncture, Impact, and also Gas. The arcane for this is going to be Primary Crooks, but you can change it out for Deadhead or Merciless. Now for your companion, you will want either a Kubru or at least a Predacite for the mecha mods. And if you're unfamiliar with the mecha mods, there's like 2 sets for your Warframe, and then you get 2 for your Kubru or Predacite. One goes on the Predacite or Kubru, which is Mecha Recharge. Then another one will go on the Claws, which is called Mecha Overdrive. Now without these mods, all 4 of them, the build probably will not do high damage. However, you're still going to be doing a lot of damage with Artemis either way. So now that we've gotten over the whole build and the mods, let's actually show this build in proper action. So the ability rotation or cycle for Ivara in this build, you will need to make sure that your first ability, being Quiver, has the dash wire selected, and I am going to send that right up and over here. Now you can also use her second ability to make sure wherever the dash wire is going, goes in the direction you want it to. And then you're also going to go into Prowl for that invisibility and make sure that her 4th ability is activated, being her exalted weapon Artemis. Now that you have that set ready to go, you can now begin the Trial of Fire. Now I am going to be using enemies that are corrupted crewmen, and they will indeed be level 150 in Steel Path. So once they're out, I'm going to then get on the wire, send a few headshots out there. And as you can see, that mod that you had on for Artemis is really paying off very quickly. On top of having the mecha mods plus that mod for Artemis, you can easily nuke rooms without even trying. And I know I say that in some of my other videos, but I really do mean it. Because, what do you mean? That's just absolutely insane. Ivara, the Warframe that was considered to be one of the weaker Warframes when compared to the likes of Ashe and other stealth Warframes, she really is just that much underrated. She can do some insane damage as long as you build her properly. Because see, without even needing to activate the Mecha Mod build, she is easily nuking. So for again, let's say I'm gonna do that. It's also going to enhance the Mecha Mod as well if I did hit that target, but I don't believe my Predacite marked the target. But as you can see there, the target got marked, it got taken down. And if you're wondering why I have 2 Predacites, it's because I have a unique mod for that Predacite activated. And that there is with the mecha mod being activated. Ivara is just simply an absolute legend when it comes to this build. To think that she doesn't have any archon shards on to double tap into her ability strength, minus that maximum energy one, she simply is an absolute legend of a stealth warframe. And I would say the most underrated of them all. As long as you have that unique mod there for dash wire as well as the one for Artemis, you can easily swap out the mecha mod set. And that there is my Ivara build. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will do a separate build for her with her Artemis bow actually having Forma on it, but she really is a great warframe to have. Not only can she do spy missions quite easily, she can also nuke rooms with that ability mod for Artemis. At the end of the day, it does come down to your own personal preference. For me, I actually enjoy this mod, and I hope sharing it with you all helps you also create a very similar build or give you a guideline towards how Ivara works as a warframe. Now, as always, Tennos, stay safe out there and happy hunting.